Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to OneHubRacing. This is penultimate round of season 18 for the Pinnacle tier, and we head to Le Castellet at Paul Ricard in France for the French Grand Prix, and this is the race where we could see Netsky win the Drivers' Championship. My name is Jess, and joining me as per usual for the penultimate time this season, we got Matt, also known as Indecisive Mackie. How you doing?
I'm doing very good. It's always a pleasure to be in this tier. Excited to see what might happen, and can we crown a champion tonight, as you just said? We don't know yet. We could do, but it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly. Last time we were here around this track was in season 16, where we saw the Pinnacle tier champion of season 16, Louis, actually won that race with Gil in second and Josh in third. Quite recognisable names in that tier actually as well. So the track is 5.842 kilometres long. It has 15 corners, 6 to the left, 9 to the right, and it has 2 DRS zones, so 1 at the start finish straight and 1 between turns 7 and 8. We got 3 compounded tyres, which are the C4s, they last 9 laps, the C3s, which last 14 laps, and the C2s last 18 laps. And the pit stop loss around here, 22.5 seconds, and the Grand Prix held at OneHub, 14 of them, and it was held 4 times in OneHub history. So we got some permutations to go through, not as many like last week, believe it or not. 4 people are still in with a chance of clinching the title either tonight or at Brazil. That is Netsky, obviously, we just talked about him, Tom, Larkin and Lakita. And Tom, Larkin and Lakita, Matt, they need to have an absolute miracle and let Netsky to bottle it in order for them to stay in the fight. But I'll hand it over to you to go through the permutations for this week.
Yep, a miracle is possibly a bit of an understatement, but let's try and get this cleared up very easily and less confusing as I tried to make it last week. So, I'm going to try and skim it down a little bit, but if Netsky finishes in the top 4, everyone's eliminated, Netsky wins the championship. Netsky could still do it if he finishes 5th with the fastest lap, but if he finishes only 5th, then Lakita must win with the fastest lap. Or if Netsky has 6th with the fastest lap, then Tom and Larkin are eliminated, Lakita must win. And every position down from there is pretty much the same thing, although if Netsky finishes 8th, Tom and Larkin are still eliminated, but Lakita must finish 2nd, the same for his 7th position for Netsky. The same, and if Netsky finishes 9th, Tom's eliminated. Larkin must win with the fastest lap. Lakita must finish 2nd or 3rd with the fastest lap. One of them can't happen. And if Netsky finishes 10th, Tom must win with the fastest lap. Larkin also must win. Lakita must finish 3rd. And if Netsky finishes 11th, Tom and Larkin must win. Lakita must finish 3rd or 4th with the fastest lap. And if Netsky finishes 12th, that's 1 point. Tom must win, Larkin must win, or finish 2nd with the fastest lap, and Lakita must finish 4th. And if Netsky doesn't score, Tom must win or finish 2nd with the fastest lap, Larkin must finish 2nd, Lakita must finish 4th or 5th with the fastest lap.
So there we go, those are the permutations for the Pinnacle tier this evening. So like we said, Netsky maybe almost confirmed, but you never know what happens in France. We've seen, I think, many mistakes from some of the drivers this season, even Lakita in Austria. Netsky hasn't had a mistake, but you never know what could happen here as well. So that does lead on until the drivers' standings this week. So Netsky is leading with 108 points, a 31-point gap to Lakita in 2nd on 77 points. We got Larkin in 3rd on 71. 4th is Thomas on 70 points. 5th is Vienna on 56. 6th is Glot with 52 points. Calzo in 7th with 47. 8th is Khalifa with 46. We've got Netsky, Lakita, Larkin, Thomas, Vienna and Glot are race premium drivers. Khalifa is an ERT driver. 9th is Totsi with 42 points. 10th is Noah with 39 points. Noah is an ERT driver. 11th is Jules. He should be back tonight. He has a qualifying ban this week, but he should be back tonight. He's on 34 points. He's race premium driver. 12th is ERT Josh on 33 points. 13th is Rafa on 29. I wonder if he's here tonight. I don't see him in the lobby list, so it's not looking likely. And 14th is Arnold with 24 points. All 3 of them ERT drivers. 15th Konto on 23 points, race premium driver. 16th place is Cliffy, 17th place is Carl, both ERT drivers with 16 and 8 points respectively. 18th place is Fatality with 6 points. 19th is J-Luke with 4 points, race premium driver. And last place, with only 1 point to his name, is Chris with 1 point. Looking at the Constructors' Championship, it's only really, according to the maths, only two teams could win the Constructors' fight. And that is between Renault and Mercedes. Renault on 163 points, Mercedes in second, 150. Third, Alfa Romeo, 108. Fourth, Ferrari, 105. Fifth, McLaren, 94. Sixth, Red Bull, 79. Haas, 7th on 45. 8th, Williams in 36. 9th, Racing Point on 35. And 10th, and last place is AlphaTauri with 12 points. So those are your constructors. So that is down to 2 in the constructors, 4 in the drivers. It's gonna be close between Renault and Mercedes. I think the constructors could go down to the final race, but for the drivers, I think it could be decided tonight. So at least we could have one championship to crown next week.
Yeah, that's always the goal, that you crown a champion in the last race of the season, especially in short seasons as we do here in OneHub, but no less important than the other, and that is why we say every point matters.
Exactly, and we just got a few pre-race interviews to go through before we start the session, as we're still waiting for a few drivers to join the lobby. I think we're expecting either 17 or 18 drivers. I think they're about to ready up, actually. Yeah, they are about to ready up, so I'll go through a few of them now. One of the questions that the media asked the drivers was anyone surprising them this season in much as pace or lack of it. I've been looking at quite a few answers, and for some of it, it's quite obvious actually for some of the drivers. Quite a lot of people have said Tom has surprised them this season due to the fact that he was in precision last season. He moved up to the top, already has got a few wins under his belt and a few podiums as well, and is a lot quicker. It kind of reminds me of Eva Hannon in precision tier, who was not expecting to be quick, and obviously he was quick. So there was a few suggesting Larkin, but quite a lot of people went to suggest Tom. Were you surprised that people picked Tom for that first question?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how slow or quick they're expecting him to be, but I'm not really sure on that one, to be honest. It's good to see his progress, though. It's been exciting, and that is one of the reasons why I said a few rounds ago that Renault were probably the favourites for the constructors.
Yeah, they are. I think I'm just trying to do the maths here on how it's going to work in terms of, I think, points. But really, you've got to be 20 points for first place, 17 points for second, plus 1 for the fastest lap. And they could potentially get 2 if both of the drivers are outside the top 10. But it's basically 38 points maximum you can get. So Renault will have to have a 38-point gap going into, more than a 38-point gap going into the final race to secure it tonight. So that is basically the constructors' goal for this week. So it is a dry qualifying, as you can see right now, which is pretty much a relief for all the drivers, I have to say. And a bit of information about the track before we head to the qualifying. First actually built in 1906, but the first F1 race was back in 1976, and it varied between the short and long layouts of this circuit. And the first F1 race back in a while in the hybrid era was, I'm just trying to think, I think it was around about 2018, 2019. Sebastian Vettel won that race, which was, actually no, it wasn't Sebastian Vettel, but you actually got the race record around here. Changes were made to the pit lane as well, and the track, resurfacing of the track last season as well, and there was also some curves being changed as well, but I don't think much was changed on the game anyway, so you probably won't make a difference as well. And a few people obviously raced at ACC, so they got to get used to different pit lanes for different games and stuff like that. But we're waiting for a few drivers to get onto the circuit, as I think Kyle is the first driver to make their way onto the circuit. AlphaTauri not doing as well in the constructors. Didn't do too well last week either, but they're not really finding their feet around here. And to be honest, maybe miracles do happen, but they really need a good final couple of races to get them out of bottom spot. Yeah,
they'll certainly need that. But talking of strong teams. I noticed last week there was a massive trend in that. I think 7 out of the 10 Haas drivers finished in the top 10. That was quite a stat, I thought. They did quite well last week. So go Team Haas, but impartial, of course. It's just good to see other cars doing well at different tracks, you know? But yeah, Carl's had a bit of a struggle this season, and AlphaTauri as a whole have just not been with it this season, but it could happen tonight, and they've got the 23-point gap to the team above them. Sorry, my maths failed on me for a moment there, but if they have a good result tonight, a couple of cars finishing in the top 10, they could really close that gap.
Exactly, and we could see the likes of Racing Point have a shocker as well. It could possibly happen, and I have to say, even though it's the Euros tonight, I know people will be watching. I think it's Italy versus Turkey tonight. I think correct me if I'm wrong, and we still have 18 drivers on the grid, which I have to say is pretty good. So thank you, Pinnacle tier drivers, for not deciding to watch the Euros and racing instead, which is fair enough. Only 2 drivers missing tonight. I think we got to the Racing Point. I'm trying to think who we're missing actually, but I will double check that. But we'll go on board actually with someone on a lap. I was going to go on board with Carl, but he's on the mediums. But we'll go on someone who is on the soft compounder tyres. So we never do hot laps in a while. So let's take us on board with 1. So heading towards turn 1 and turn 2. Really good sequence of corners. If you don't get turn 1 right, you're not necessarily going to get turn 2 right, and that's very, very crucial. Heading towards turn 3 and 4 and 5. Take as much of the inside curb as you can. Heading towards turn 6. Go to the right hand side here as well. And it's going to be a little bit of a tow between the Racing Point drivers as well. I did see a few people give each other a tow in a few of the other tiers below them. And it's nice to see that the Racing Point team, I think, are doing it a lot better than some other tiers. So great to see. And it's nice that it's been caught on stream there. Passing into turn 8 now. A little bit of a slide from a car there. Like for turn 1, you should aim your car to get as close to being off track to the right as possible, but obviously avoid getting invalidated. Heading towards turn 10 now, lean quite heavily towards the exit curb here, and we're heading towards turn 11, which is very understeery, very difficult corner to judge as well. It requires a lot of bravery and belief in your car and yourself, and also in the overtakes. Heading towards turn 12, take a wide line for the first part of the corner. And then turn 3 simply similar to the exit of 12. And heading towards turn 14, 15 and 16. And you get your car fully planted to the track. A long run to the line. People do get confused between the start finish straight, but it's pole position at the moment. A 127.3. But I'm almost certain the tow between the 2 Red Bull drivers definitely helped with Josh's lap there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will have done. At some point he would have got an advantage, but I'm just having a quick look at ERT now, who was called to the driver's press conference this week. And he was asked, how easy has it been to cultivate an understanding with your teammate? As, you know, Haas haven't been doing that great across all the tiers. So I just thought I'd try and find out why that could be. And he replied, it hasn't been the easiest understanding what kind of strategy he's been doing. So he has been playing it by ear. But luckily, they haven't been that close on track, so it hasn't been a big issue. Still 2 rounds to go, so anything can happen.
To be fair, with those bold strategies that Noah has been doing throughout the season, majority of them are actually paid off as well. And sometimes it's nice to go for bold strategies like that, especially if there's changeable conditions as well, because you never know what could happen. So Noah actually being very consistent in terms of results as well. I'm doing quite well in the championship. Don't forget, it's his first season at OneHubRacing, which is great to see. And obviously, the guys at ERT saw talent in him, so they hired him to the team, and they also suggested OneHub to him, and he's fitting in quite well as well. And I don't know what I'm not sure we have a new driver, VER Rick. I don't know what he's doing unless there's a gamer tag change. I'm not entirely sure. I'll need to check with the stewards on that one to see if he's meant to be here. But I think that's one of the McLarens missing tonight, unless it's Konzo. It might be Konzo, actually. I'm not entirely sure. But Konzo was meant to be here tonight, but still confusing me. But we got Netsky, our current championship leader, 126.9. I think we could expect the 126s, 125s. There was no precision tier stream earlier, but I think they were roughly in the 126s there. So 125 is what we could be expecting. Nextski's teammate Toxic is heading towards turn 12 now, looking quite committed right now, heading towards these corners, looking very, very quick actually as well. Needing a good, strong result from Mercedes to stop Renault from clinching the Constructors tonight. But to be honest, I think it will go down to the final race anyway. So let's see what Toxic could do. Heading towards the final corner now. And it is going to be P3 for him at 127.4. So pretty good. Third place, but a few tenths behind his teammate Netsky.
Yeah, he's few places behind Nesky, and Nesky would love that. He's out in front where he needs to be to do the most damage. He'd love to win a title with a win, but I'm just on board with Cliffy, and looking through all of his previous stats, he's done quite well usually, traditionally. He's finished 50 times and 43 of those have been in the points, so he's pretty consistent, and although he hasn't had the best of luck at times this season, it's possible that he could do a massive bounce back drive tonight.
Yeah, I think so as well. And Cliffy is a person, like, I think obviously one driver in our tier does exactly the same thing, but Cliffy actually gets some laps in. He's the one that does a lap and he tricks us. He's like, oh, it's going to be a fast lap. But actually is not, and he either invalidates on purpose or tries to start from the back. But to be fair, if you want to do it, fair enough, as long as there's not many people and he wants to have some fun. It is the last few races of the game cycle, so why not? And Cliffy has just proven point in the pudding that he probably has invalidated on purpose, but there you go. And I've just been told by the team coordinator that Rick has been not meant to be here, so we're gonna if you see Rick on the track, ignore him. We're not going to talk about him, so he's not meant to be in this lobby, so whoever invited him is going to get a big penalty from the steward, so that is not good. But Tom R, the driver who the drivers have predicted to be the most surprising throughout the whole season, currently sitting in last at the moment, which is not good, especially if you want to do really well on the Constructors. And he was asked, would you prefer this track early in the season or the penultimate round? And to be honest, it's good for side-by-side racing, so Tyler decided it could be a great wash, but he just binned it there just before turn 8, so not good there as well. And he doesn't mind wet races either. I think he's hoping he does not have a wet race after that because of the slide he just had, but he'll probably have to go into the pit. See, some of these drivers are just struggling with the wheel spin around it. Don't forget, most of these drivers do run their assists, and it's just hard to get the traction in sometimes with the understeery parts of the track, so you really got to make sure you have a good setup for that. As Calzo heads towards the final corner of turn 16, and let's see if he can actually beat his rivals near the top. He's 13th at the moment. 128.2 puts him in P10.
Yeah, but another driver that might particularly want a wet race is Arnold, because remember what he did in the rain in Austria. He almost won the race, and unfortunately, he is the cold driver in this tier this week. As I said, after showing what he's capable of in Austria, he could have won the race, but he struggled to be consistent in the dry, and struggled since then. But he's very capable of running at the front now, but at the moment, he is down towards the lower end of the points, and he's unfortunately fighting for fastest lap points. But the hot driver, well, take a guess. There's only one driver it could be, really. It's Netsky. He took a giant leap towards the trophy he missed out on last time, and with a composed performance to net yet another podium. Surely it's only a matter of time for him, and with the start he's made to qualifying, I'm pretty sure that could well end up being the case. But you don't get anything for qualifying, you have to win the race or finish the race first.
Yeah, exactly, and I think Netsky, he's got the most to lose in this situation, but it doesn't matter for Netsky if he has a bad race here. He can fight it out next week in Brazil, and he's still got a comfortable lead. It's not a problem. So Netsky could just take a gamble if he wants to here and just fight it out for the finale. Come on, Netsky. Do it for us, you know. You just don't score points, you know, and have a Netsky versus Lakiti battle in the final race like we did last season. Yeah, that'll be good, won't it? But to be honest, I think it's more than likely that it could happen tonight. But we'll have to wait and see. But we've got 6 minutes left to go of qualifying. I'm just seeing most of the drivers going into the pits after they've done one lap on the soft. So I think we're not going to have a wet start to the race, which I think if you were in Prospect, I think you would have wished that it was a dry start to the race, most of the drivers anyway, but I think the Pinnacle drivers will be getting that as well. No signs of any rain, though, coming at the moment, which, again, is a good thing. We do have some yellow flags. I think it's just people moving out the way, and Jules is meant to retire from the session. He's got a quali ban, so as we got Josh P2, Toxic P3. I believe Josh is going on for another lap, I believe, as well. 127.2 puts him in P2, just behind Netsky. But some very good laps. Glock in P4 as well. We're seeing some time starting to come thick and fast here in the Pinnacle tier.
We are, but I think Chris was going a little bit too quick and lost control and just hit a wall there. I saw the back end of it, which is, ironically, what hit the wall. But he's out of this session and can finish no higher than 12 in qualifying, so he could have a lot of places to gain in the race. But if anyone's got him on their fantasy team, he could well pay dividends for them. I don't personally, but some people might. I don't know who has who in fantasy. All I know is, come on, Cliffy, get me some points, lad.
And to be honest, I have Cliffy in my team as well. So at least we're both on the same page this week, Matt, as well. But as you can see, Josh Khalifa gave Josh the toe early. I think he gave Josh the toe on the previous lap, so I believe Josh did the same with Khalifa on that lap. So that is good teamwork, I have to say. Let's see what Khalifa does going on his lap. He hasn't set a lap time at the moment, though. As Glock heads towards the final corner now to finish off his lap in the Alfa Romeo, and he comes across the line in P4 with a 127.382. A few people doing no rules already when they're trying to get to the pits very quickly. I almost did that in the Prospect, but there you go. And Cliffy invalidates again. I won't be surprised if Cliffy starts last. I wonder if Tom R will be starting last as well. I don't think Tom R should, because he's still technically in the championship fight and technically could still be in for a second and third place trophy. He is purple in sector 2 in the game. I will need to check Taz if it's purple in that regard. I don't think it is, but it's going to take a while for Taz to update. No, but it's not purple on Taz, so it is just the game telling the porcupines. Purple sector 2 at the moment is Toxic. So there we go. But Tom R comes across 14, now heading towards turn 15. These corners are quite short in succession heading towards sector 3, but he's looking quite good. This is a very good lap from the Renault driver. He's got to be careful not to invalidate. This is very good. 127.4, but that's P6. He must have lost time in that final sector. I need to actually check where he's lost. So 21.6 in the first sector. So he lost about a tenth to Netsky. 26.9 in the second. I lost a tenth again. And he was alright in the first sector. So if he gained 2 tenths in the first and second, he should have been alright. So he's pretty much almost on par compared to everybody else, of course. But everyone else is now in the pits, ready to start their final laps. And so not surprisingly, everyone is going for the softs.
Yeah, that is not surprising at all. But I'm going to take a few moments just to check out the rivalries this week. We have, I can just refresh the page, it's gone weird. There we have Tom R and Toxic were in the presser for that. And Tom was asked, is Toxic lucky that he has a teammate as strong as Netsky? Although surely with a greater team ethic here, the advantage goes to the yellow corner. And Toxic was asked, is Tom in a good position as it appears? Surely team has said he can't let this championship escape. And Tom did reply, he said he's not lucky. They've been teammates in the past and he's just as good as Netsky, so it makes sense. Although my teammate did leave, but Calzo's replaced him very well with a 1-2 of Belgium. He's very consistent and knows when to play the team game, which also helps. I don't know if the other driver... Toxic did reply too. It just disappeared down the bottom of the screen there. Although he replied, as Tom said, it is a friendly rivalry. All the battles they've had have been fair, and I wish they can have more going into the last few rounds. Although that said, Netsky and I are very competitive, and considering his awful season, they are still confident they can bring the championship back to Mercedes. Watch out, because we're on charge and won't be giving up anytime soon. That's what you like to hear.
Right, I've got something to say at the moment, and we're going to probably try and think of stuff to say for the next 5 to 10 minutes, because due to some randomer blocking people's quality laps and ruining them, and he's not leaving the lobby, we will have to have a lobby restart. So I have just we were discussing it at the moment, and I just told Khalifa as well. So hopefully everyone will leave the lobby. So that's a bit of a shame, but we are going to be having a full lobby restart. It's ruined and stuff like that. So yeah, we will. Hopefully he's got my message and we can get this lobby started on the way. And I have to store out tabs again, which is not the best way, but yeah, that gives other people second chances. For example, the likes of Glock as well. Khalifa's looking good in 5th position, but there's still some drivers that need to pull their weight, I have to say. But I'm not going to say on stream who's invited those drivers, but I think by looking at the gamer tag, I think you could probably guess which one of the two has probably invited them. So yeah, hopefully we'll find out what's happening at the moment. But I'm not sure if the drivers have been told that we're having a lobby restart. So
Well,
we'll see anyway.
yeah, 30 seconds to find out. But let's just do some filler, I suppose. And I'm going to have another look at some stats. We mentioned Arnold earlier on. He's had 12 finishes, 8 in the points, and if he scores 10th or higher today, he will move past the 50-point mark in OneHubRacing. So that's something to look out for. Who else can we have a look at? Quite a lot of people, actually. I'll get back to you shortly with that, and you just... I don't know. Are we going to do full quali again, or what are we doing?
Yeah, full quali, because the randomer ruined his laps. The randomer ruined their laps. No so if they didn't ruin the laps, they would have probably carried on with qualifying. But yeah, we unfortunately will have to leave. So I'm going to have to change screens for the time being. We do apologise about the issues, but don't blame us. Blame I think the one we actually can't really tell who has invited them. So yeah, I again do apologies about that. You were expecting some good racing, of course. I will have to tell the Tasman that we will be having a full lobby restart. So yeah, hopefully that should be all right with that one. So many lobbies going on tonight, it's unreal. But it is, I think, probably the penultimate round. There's always things that could potentially go wrong as well. But yeah, so we will see. So full lobby restart, including, you're probably going to hear me typing, guys. That's what we'll have to do in one. So much has been happening at the moment, but yeah, what does that give other people a chance? Because there's some people that didn't have good laps in qualifying. Maybe they weren't happy with the track, and don't forget it's on dynamic weather as well. So we had a dry qualifying just now. It could be different conditions going into the next qualifying. So I'm very, very excited to see what the drivers could be facing in this full lobby restart, I guess.
Does that mean we got to start the stream again?
Nah, I'm not starting the stream again. I'm not starting the stream again.
It doesn't affect our rankings too much, that's all.
Well, I'm not the one getting ranked. So
I am.
Well, it's fine. We're probably gonna pretend some of it didn't happen, but obviously, we'll discuss it after the stream. Okay, I don't think anyone that's not a commentator doesn't need to know it. But anyway, so I'm just trying to add. I'm gonna look at some more stats at this moment in time. I'm just gonna look at the stats from last week actually, because usually after every stream, we get little results based on what's people's best results and stuff, which I think is really, really nice to see, and it just gives us something to talk about. So, but there's not many best results from last week actually. It was Tomar's 3rd podium, Toxic's 2nd podium, Netsky's 5th podium. It was Glock's worst result last week with a 15th place, Khalifa's worst result with a 16th place last week in... what track was it last week? I completely forgot. Russia. Russia. Russia was actually good last week, and there's one thing I forgot to talk to you about, and that was one of the results from last week. So we could talk a little bit about that. So I didn't save it on purpose, I promise. So we will see. I will try and get into the lobby in a second before I do that. So Tomar won last week with a commanding win over Toxic in second. Netsky in third. We got Vienna 4th, Calzo 5th, Larkin 6th, Noah 7th, Lakitu 8th, Cliffy 9th, Konzo 10th, Jamie 11th, Fatality 12th. Lakitu got the fastest lap inside the top 10. Fastest lap outside the top 10 went to Arnard. And pole position went to Netsky. And drive of the day went to Tomar. Well, not really that surprised Tomar had drive of the day, of course, because he absolutely rocked it last week. And he has a second chance to do it again, of course. But, yeah, we shall see what happens. As I'm still waiting for a response from our Tasman to see if we can get the magic sorted again. But there's no response. I'm guessing he's busy right now. But those are your results from last week. And nice to see Tomar winning again. You know, he was in the position tier last season. Yeah, he did absolutely fantastic, I have to say. Trying to think of things to say in the filler is quite difficult.
Well, this is quite an unprecedented situation, to be fair. It's not usually interrupted by a randomer who messes up the lobby for people, and I'm fairly confident who invited them. As you say, gamer tags happen, and not just that, but I won't say what we want to say, but it's got to be kept professional here, and of course it is, but just I can't wait to get this restarted and see who's gonna come out on top for real this time. As I just joined the lobby, there we go. Right,
there we go. We're both in the lobby now. And if Tebow does not respond in the next 5-10 minutes or so, we may have to not have Taz tonight. Because Taz will still work, but it will just be glitchy, and we do not want that. So we'll try and see what happens, folks. But I've got some facts about the real life Grand Prix to tell you a little bit about as well. So I have say some, I promise. Michael Schumacher's won the most French Grand Prix than any other driver. Took all of his victories in the Manicourt track, not Paul Ricard though. Ferrari had the most French Grand Prix wins with 17. I wonder if Lakitu could get a win tonight. He hasn't had a win in a while. Williams and McLaren shared a record for the most victories. Austria, we saw Arnold almost take the race victory, but can he get one tonight? Maybe Clippy can take one tonight. Who knows? And I'm just trying to see if we have a few people who's got their home Grand Prix. No one's got their home Grand Prix tonight, but Alain Prost has won his home race on 6 occasions, including 4 races at Paul Ricard. And Nigel Mansell and Lewis Hamilton were the only drivers other than Prost to have won the Paul Ricard track more than once. So there we go. So interesting stats for you. No sign from Tebow at the moment. I'm guessing he's probably watching the Euros or something. Not surprised if he's not doing anything. Why wouldn't you, to be honest with you? Yes, but I think Netsky must be pretty worried at the moment because he was very comfortable in pole position and now he's got to go through a full qualifying session again, which is not the best situation, but
it's not, but we'll make it work. It just means that the viewers get more of us talking about Formula 1, which is what we love to do, and there is some hot action zones which I'll cover in qualifying. If I do it now, then people may have forgotten, but I'll do that when we're towards the race a little bit more. But I think while we have a moment now, because it was hectic last week and it almost didn't happen, I will quickly mention the wonderful sponsors that OneHubRacing have here. First one, we have Liam RBS, who sponsors all the trophies, and Next Level Racing are giving away a Simlight rig to the winner of the giveaway, which is awesome, and it's going to be a very exciting prize to whoever wins that. And then we have our partner at Vespertine and Time to Print 3D. You can get a 20% discount off the current track, which this week is France with the code OneHubRacing. And then you have 3M, who are giving away a pair of sim racing gloves to the winner of the most pole positions and the most fastest laps out of all the tiers. And of course, the final one is the ERT Go and Get Stuff Award, which is the Go and Get Stuff Award, the same as last season. The drivers have to answer all the media responsibilities. They do attend all races, but the only difference is it's now sponsored by ERT. So thank you to all our wonderful sponsors, and very shortly I think we'll get underway again, whatever the proper English is. And that's how excited I am. I can't even do English very well today, but I'll give it a go for all you lovely people out there watching in internet land, and it is a great honour to be here every week, and I hope you enjoy what race is going to come today.
Yeah, I was actually tempted at the start of the race to actually introduce the race in French, but people would have been like, what's going on? I don't know. So it's quite tough, but we'll see, of course. Now I think we're just I've just been informed by our Tasman ETA 5 minutes. So we can sort out Taz, so because I believe he is watching the Euros, so so he's going to take time out of his time watching Euros to actually restart the Taz stuff. So there we go. So that's interesting. So apologies about the delay, everybody.
It's half time.
What?
It's half time. He should be free.
Yeah, he should be technically he should be free now. So that's why probably he's getting a drink, obviously, and I think the drivers are a bit wide, but don't blame me. We want to have a good Taz for both the viewers and obviously the drivers as well, because we don't want to just do it just glitchy. We obviously everything we introduce here at OneHub, we always want to put 100% into it. So making sure that the Taz is correct is one of those things, basically. We can't just have it not working. So okay, so
it's so useful. Like, we can see who's struggling, who's got damage, who needs a new wing, and we've got all sorts of awesome stuff that the game doesn't tell us. So of course we do need Taz working, and it's a fantastic tool, and such devotion from the man that runs it is always appreciated. So thanks to the Taz man. I don't think he gets enough credit sometimes.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh
God, I have to go with puns at the moment, which is quite interesting to say the least as well. But this is turning into a OneHubRacing podcast. I think we're going to be I won't be surprised if this turns into a 2-hour stream. By the way, this is going. Oh God. But to be honest, you get more of us, you get more action, and this is all good. We might as well, because all the other tiers have happened, we may as well tell you the other tiers results, because obviously apart from Precision, because we can't tell you what's happened. So we'll start with, obviously points did not happen, because Points' lobby was playing up, so we'll keep you updated with points. But Prospect, we had a new winner. We had a new winner tonight, which was great to see. We had JW Combs that took his first win in OneHubRacing history, and it was quite close between him and Liam, but Liam got second place. We got Waze, who finished third, Kingham finished fourth, and Jacko, who finished in fifth position as well. And with Jake and Liam not being here next week, it can confirm Jake will finish second in the drivers, with Liam in third. So great to see. In a podium, we also had another first-time winner in France. It's quite a common trend. I want to see actually who wins Precision, actually, but hopefully someone can keep me up to date on Precision. We had one of our podium tier commentators from last season, Johannes, JM69. He took his first win of the season tonight in P1. And his teammate Ali B with a Haas 1-2. I'm sure you'll be happy with that, Matt, with a Haas 1-2. Kong Hoffner finished in third, Casper fourth, and Neon in fifth position. I actually need to check if it actually is it is the right result, so there we go. I need to actually see Precision to see what is going on. I'm just finding out what is happening with Tebow at the moment. Let me know when it is done. So once we get the Precision results, we'll tell you the Precision results are not being streamed And we could have an interesting qualifying session. I'm not going to tell you what is going on in our coordinated chat that's going on right now, but similar thing happened to points tonight, so we could see quite a little bit of a spice, to be honest, but we shall see. We could potentially have a one-shot qualifying, so that could think of spice things up. I hate one-shot qualifying, so great podcast. Wow. Thanks, Lakitu. Yeah, we could have a one-shot qualifying. What changes does that make into people's strategy for the race then, if we do have a one-shot quali?
I don't think it's gonna change much, in all honesty. I think you might have some people starting a little bit further back than they might, just because they may invalidate their one lap, so they could be starting at the back, which could give them an advantage. They should be at the front, but they'll be on the better strategy, so that could be something to watch for. But yeah, one shot call is always going to spice it up.
Yeah, I kind of want it to happen, because obviously we have got places to be and stuff like that. I know the drivers won't like it, but obviously the commentators would like it. But I think it is quite close. 4 people for one shot, 5 for short. Now 6 for short, 4 for short. No, 4 for one shot, 6 for short. Oh,
wow.
Okay, this is getting interesting to say the least. But I'm just I have to tell Thibaut what is going on, because he's probably as confused as I am at the moment, but we will see, of course. So I am going to ask the position results for Precision, because obviously there was no stream. Okay, that's interesting. What are the position? So Ferrari got a 1-2 at France. I think it was Scorpion that won, with Chris in second, or it was the other way around. And we have our first Constructors Champions of all 5 tiers, and it's Ferrari in position. So mass congratulations to Ferrari. Well done to them. So that's one title out of the way for Precision. Not sure if someone has done enough to win the Precision title. It's all good. Now, I just been given the all clear. We can race now. We can race. Taz has been sorted. So I will just give Khalifa the all clear. So there we go. So Taz should be ready to go. We're just deciding on whether we're doing a one shot or a short quali. So
I'm sure when we have knowledge of that, we'll update the wonderful listeners to the podcast whenever we can.
The podcast.
But, it's a thing now, I suppose. But yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here, and these things don't happen every week. And I think this is going to be a late one. So I hope no one had any plans for dinner or anything, because...
luckily I had dinner beforehand this week. So, and it is short qualifying. So we're going to be...
Here we go again.
So we're going to be in for a long stream, folks. Thank you guys for sticking with us. There's still 14 of you that are watching the stream right now. So thank you very much for keeping us... on the big loop, as it were, around Paul Ricard, because I'm sure there would be plenty of things you could have been doing on your Friday night, but you chosen OneHub, so thank you very much. And I can confirm that the drivers in question that we think have invited this random dude to the lobby is not allowed to rejoin for tonight, so they will be disqualified from the race results tonight. So which is fair enough. They were the ones that caused the issue in the first place, so bye-bye to them. And I think they may be disqualified from the season, because it's not the first time that this has happened to those particular drivers. We're not going to name names, of course, but once we go back into the session, you will know who they are. So blame those both. I think probably blame both of them, to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see. But we will also get the position result. Actually, I've got the position results on my screen, so we'll go through the position results as well. So I will give you those information. So, Chris won the race with Scorpion in second. Dane Star finished third. Only Tom Hart finished fourth. Riley Byes had a good result. Oh my God. Right. I'm going to be holding my thoughts for just a little bit longer whilst I go through the results. On the
Oh,
field,
boy.
Nick finished in 6th, Lukey finished 7th, Kieran finished 8th, White Fountain finished 9th, Vitinho finished 10th, Salty Bear finished 11th, Eva Hannon finished 12th. Actually, no, Eva Hannon got a DNF as well as Sonny Bob and Price, and I think they only had 14 drivers. So the championship for position is going to the final race as our championship leader actually had a DNF. So, yeah, that is interesting. But well done to Ferrari for winning the Constructors, and Chris, I believe, for winning his first race of the season. So I am not going to let us hold the fort any longer. We are going to go into the race as I get all my telemetry data sorted. And ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a wet one. It is a wet qualifying at Paul Ricard.
Yes, it is, but what will the race be like? This is going to be quite a different strategy. Of course, if it's a dry race, then it really doesn't matter what they start on. You can start on whatever tyre you want, which could really flip things up. And yeah, sorry about the rain dance work for some people.
Yeah, but to be honest, I was hoping in prospect the rain would stay for longer. Unfortunately, it did not, and that's why my pace dropped when the dry stint. But there we go. I'm watching this guy now because if there's a driver that will do well in the rain, it's him. It's Arnold. He was absolutely flying in Austria. He was probably hoping for some rain to happen. I'm actually going to look at the pre-race interviews and see if there's any drivers that were wanting the rain, so the changeable conditions. Glock said he will be ecstatic about the wet conditions, so I think watch out for Glock as well. Khalifa, he'll be less comfortable than it was a dry race in course uncertainty. Josh said he'll feel very comfortable, so another driver to watch out for. Noah's not best in the race, so he would prefer a dry race, but as it's seen, it can rain very often around here. Netsky, he's pretty comfortable with a mixed conditions race. He doesn't mind whatever conditions throw at him. Konzo, who is here now, prefers it to be dry, but I guess we will find out. We will find out very soon if it's going to be a dry race. And if it is a dry race, the drivers will have free choice of tyres. I kind of like it being a wet qualifying session because it's completely different to the dry. Obviously, different braking zones. You can hardly see the track in these wet conditions. It's kind of like monsoon, but you know, I think we can see the pecking order, I think, change. Some people on wets, some people on intermediate tyres, so we'll keep an eye on that as it happens.
Yeah, it's certainly treacherous out there, and Arn's not. I mean, Arn's one of the first on a lap, from what I can see. He's just going through sector 2 to the. Oh, he's got. I thought he'd gone a little bit wide and invalidated, but no, he's got away with that. It's really hard to see where the track ends in this kind of weather, so he's doing quite well just to keep it between the lines at this point. But yeah, it's one of the most tricky conditions, I think, for all the drivers. But Taz is just letting me know that several people have invalidated their first attempt, but Arnold's still not one of them. And let's just see if he can keep it up there. But as we said earlier, and as you just alluded to, he did rather well in the rain in Austria, so maybe he's not at all too displeased with the weather as it is.
He's looking quite good in the final sector as well, but you can see so much understeery moments. It is literally impossible. But I did see the Pinnacle tier chat, and there's one driver who is also very happy with the wet conditions as well. A driver that you won't be expecting to be happy with them. But watch Arnold as he finishes his lap, and he goes provisional pole at the moment. But this man, who's on the intermediate conditions, J. Luke in the AlphaTauri, who are last in the constructors, when he saw that it was raining in qualifying, let me just quote unquote what his reaction was. He said, "It's raining men, hallelujah." I've never seen someone that excited about rain in France. Yeah, I imagine what it would have been if I was in a party with him. He probably would have screamed and my eardrums would have bursted or something like that. But there we go. So, yes, and interesting stat as well, which I find quite fascinating. Position tier was the only tier to have both a dry quali and a dry race. All the other tiers either had a a dry quali or a wet race, or a wet quali and a wet race, or a wet quali and a dry race, or a dry quali and a mixed conditions race. So, yeah, positions here were the only ones to have dry everywhere. Shame, obviously, it wasn't streamed. Jamie's looking quite comfortable in these intermediate conditions, but not as fast as the likes on the full wets. The ones on the full wets are about, I would say, a few tenths faster. Glock, though, he did say he was comfortable in the wets, and Mile Mai is definitely showing it. He's put the words in his mouth. He's definitely walking the way. He's talked the talk, but he's definitely walking the walk on the track at the moment. I was trying to think of a saying there, but that was definitely the right saying. But I won't be surprised, though, Matt, with the amount of tyres that they have to their disposal with the wets and the inters, for these drivers to go on more than one lap on the full wets or the inters, as Arnold just did. But Glock just gone into the pits.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably traditional for drivers to do more than one lap on any rain tyre anyway, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting one for some of these guys. Is it better just to get some laps in now and then switch to inters, or are you just going to gamble on it not getting any wetter, or do you think it's going to dry up in a little bit? It's all, you don't know, but it's fascinating to find out. But Glock seems to have enjoyed the conditions straight away up there in provisional pole, but Josh is just coming around the final corner now, and let's see what he can do as he goes across the line in a 1 minute 42.3, puts him in P5, and I'm pretty sure he will just continue to get quicker as the tyres just get a little bit better for these conditions.
Yeah, they are. I think I could see that it's a lot better, but I don't know. It's I think it reminded us of the start of the R race at Prospect. It was exactly like this. It was raining, I think, this hard, and it was on the cusp of being full wets or inters. So yes, and good news. Carlzo's just joined the lobby, which is great news. So he should be able to race with us. I'm guessing he has some technical issues, so he will be back. I will have to update Tads again with Calzo, but at least he's joining us, so we now have 16 runners, which is all good. So, yes, I'd like to say thank you to Khalifa and to all the other management for your cooperation with sorting out the lobby restart for Pinnacle. Much appreciated. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Especially thank you to Dexter as well for helping out too. So, thank you very much, and at least we still got qualifying to contend with at the moment. And just a quick note as well, it's not that long before F1 2021 comes out. Just under, well, almost a month away into F1 2021, of course. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be very exciting. Damage is going to be more of a factor in the next game, as we've seen from the Racing Ahead content creators. There's going to be, I think, more floor damage, more rear wing damage, which I think is going to be interesting, as someone has retired, and it's the wet king himself, Jay Luke. He's retired in the penultimate corner. I'm seeing if anyone's gone past him, actually, but I doubt it. So, yeah, I think that's the commentator's curse. I think that we've glitched him there. So, we do apologise, and I think Sonny said some good things about it in the chat as well. Sonny is obviously our precision tier driver, so a shout out to you, but I think we kind of both, all three of us combined, have probably jinxed J Luke. So we'll apologise, Jamie, if you're watching us on stream. These conditions are proving to be difficult for most people. They're sliding everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I had anything to do with that jinx, but if I did, I'm sorry. But yeah, the issue for Calzo was the one who just joined. I don't know if it was Calzo or Conzo. Apologies for that, but his PS4 was decided it was too hot, so he couldn't join, but he's in now, and hopefully that's the end of his dramas for tonight. But yeah, it's very treacherous out there. I just saw Tomar just kept it out of the wall. He is on the inters, so that tells me that it might not be inters conditions out there, but he's persisting with it. But he has invalidated now, even though he ruined his lap. But it's difficult to know what side to be on. There's Carl's around now.
Oh, there's loads of people struggling. It's everybody that's struggling right now as well. I think the pressure of the wet and obviously the lobby restart, I think it's just getting to them. But they need to forget on what has just happened. They just got to manage the conditions in front of them and concentrate on actually getting a good lap in. Because if you don't get a good lap in, you'll be starting low down the grid, which is not what you want. But Cliffy's in last position at the moment, who I doubt we'll set a lap. I'm surprised that he's actually still on the track, to be honest. If I were him, I would have stayed on the track, stayed in the pits and retired, but he's not. He's actually going to give it a go and have a little bit of a feel with the interconditions. I'm surprised he is, because I don't think it's going to be a wet race. I'll be shocked if it is. And Jamie's just said in the chat, this game can get to beep, honestly. And beep translates into a swear word, which we're not going to say on stream. So yeah, he is not very happy with his bottle, sadly.
Well, I mean, it happens to the best of us, but thankfully, not getting in the beep. But I think you can put this game in the bin in a couple of weeks. So there's that to look forward to. Be back next week, probably. Unless you're doing the after-season sprint race championship. But I'm looking at Lakitu, who's just about to start a lap, and he needs to take advantage of these conditions, as Netsky is also on an out lap. So at the moment, the championship contenders are going to be starting outside the top 10. So that's drama.
Yeah, that is drama that I haven't seen in a long time. I think for those of you that have been watching Twitter as well, a certain race that Matt did on Wednesday had both championship contenders start outside the top 6, I believe. So it has happened before. And that could make things very interesting. Lakitu, though, remember Mexico, penultimate round of the season, I believe. He started around about 11th, 12th position. And look where he finished, P1. So he is experienced by starting low down and coming across the line in first. Don't forget also, Austria was where he absolutely hated the wet conditions. It was his lowest result in OneHub in absolutely ages. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lakitu ends up low down on the grid in qualifying. But that could be good news if you have Lakitu in your fantasy team. But he was purple sector 1, I believe, as well. So We'll have to wait and see. I'll check Taz, because I don't know. Yes. Taz says yes. So actually the game has got something right for once. Purple sector... Oh, he's purple sector 2 as well, which is interesting. Purple sector 1 now belongs to Khalifa. Now purple sector 2 is Josh. So he's changing all the time here in the Pinnacle. So they are getting quicker and quicker by the lap. So past turn 12 now. Joe looks like he still sets lap time on the board, so he could still be in the top 10 if not many people set a lap. So for Joe, it may not be the end of the world. At least he got a good lap in. Lakitu then comes across the final corner. Larkin goes on pole with a 140.8. That's good for him. Larkin second. Can Lakitu get himself on the front row? P2 for him, and Toxic also comes across the line in first. So Toxic obviously out of the Drivers' Championship hunt, but he's got Constructors to fight for, and I wonder if he'll be playing Wingman tonight. We will see, but to be honest, he probably won't, knowing that Netsky will probably not take too many risks here tonight, as Josh binned it and invalidated. Netsky's also on the lap as well. Josh is invalidated, Lakitu. Toxic, obviously, because obviously Toxic has just gone. I think yellow is invalidated as far as I'm aware. I haven't used Taz in quite a while looking at invalidation. Usually I get Matt to do that kind of stuff. But I am looking, I promise. So Netsky comes across the final corner, and Cliffy has done, following my advice actually, he has retired in the pit. So probably Cliffy was watching the stream. So Netsky comes across the line. It looks a very good lap indeed from our championship leader. But it is only P4. Khalifa though, in P3, that's a decent lap for the Red Bull driver. Arnaud, a driver who I said watch out in the wet conditions. He puts his car in P2.
Yep, can confirm yellow on Taz is invalidated. So, yep, you can say that with confidence now. And Kyle is back out there after his earlier moments, and he doesn't look like the look for the AlphaTauri team is changing anytime soon, but hopefully, as Glock goes quickest there with a 39.8 as he goes a few tenths quicker than everybody else. I think that's just over half a second there. So the track is definitely improving now, and I think the Inters is possibly the right side to be on, but Arnold has gone again. I think he's a little bit slower through Sector 1, but that can easily be made up through Sector 2 if he can keep it valid and between the lines, and he's very, very close to there, but he has done just that. He's kept it valid. Let's see what he does through the end of Sector 2 as I'm checking tabs to see if anyone is lighting up the boards, and we should keep an eye on them, but at the moment it's as you were, and Arnold has a little bit of a twitch as he comes out of this Usually flat corner in the dry, but in the wet you have to take it very differently. But I think he's doing his best to deal with these conditions. But can he keep this up? Can he improve? We'll find out very shortly, as he's in the final sector and a couple of corners away from the final one. Will he stay out? Will he pit? Sorry, Philippe has retired from the session. That's slip of the tongue. I think he's done that in the pit lane. I don't see yellows on the track, and Arnott is gonna cross the line very shortly as Nevsky's just improved there. That's what you need to see from the championship leader, and Arnott stays P3, but he did improve his time, so he's definitely Inter's conditions out there.
Yeah, it is. If you're not in the Inters like Vienna, for example, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble, as Vienna still has wets fitted as well. So I wonder if he's actually going to stay out, potentially, and probably start from 14, because in a way, it's not a bad place to start P14 to avoid the trouble in turn 1, potentially, because turn 1 could get a bit hairy sometimes. I remember commentating position with Nick, I think it was season 14 or 15, can't remember what season, it might have been season 14 actually. Well, it was carnage at the start on the first couple of corners, so we'll see what happens here, of course. Calzo is about to finish his lap. I won't be surprised if he does a few more laps on in the Renault. So Cody comes across the line, and it is... Oh, he's just about to start it. Okay. Or he might have invalidated his previous lap. Arnaud, he's not going again, surely. He's pushing, he's on... But he's not going up in any sector at the moment. So I wonder if he'll go into the pits, or if he'll just go out for one more time. Glock has retired. He's not going to go for pole position, but I wonder if Netsky is going to go out even quicker on the Inters. He's running out of ERS. We're not got in that much position before, but Netsky is probably going to be his final lap, so it's really much do or die. He's been saving his ERS perfectly, taking the shortest one to the line. Is it good enough to extend his pole advantage? Yes, it is. A 139.281. Arnold comes across the line. He does not improve, but I think he's going to try and save some ERS to go again, but I doubt that's going to happen, so I think that'll be his last lap for Arnaud. Kyle is about to start his final lap. There's a lot of people going out for final laps. Tom R is on fresh Inters, and I'm going to see if he's lighting up purple in our timings. Let me just have a look. No, he's not, but he set personal best in sectors 1 and 2, so he's even quicker than his previous best. That may jump him up a few places or two. Heading towards the final corner then. Let's see what he can do. Very hard, these conditions. There's no sign of the conditions are getting any better. So we'll see what happens. Tom R, it's P2. P2, that 2 seconds quicker as well. Calzo comes across the line in P1. Where's that come from? We almost had a Renault 1-2. We got a Renault 1-3 now, and Netsky's probably going to think, nope, having none of that. We got a Red Bull of Josh about to finish on his lap. I'm seeing if he's setting personal best in sector 1 and 2. So this could be even better for Josh. We don't know. The conditions are getting even better right there. If you're still on a lap, I think that'll be good for you, because the conditions are getting better. ERT Josh comes across the line. Can he get pole? P4 for him, Netsky. Let's see what he can do. Can he be the one that jumps Calzo off pole? We will see. Yes, he does, with a 139.0. Tom R still has a chance to go for one more lap, so it could be possible. Arnoud's actually going for one more lap as well, so he could snatch pole position as well. Toxic Khan, he has invalidated. Kyle, Cost come online in 7th. Arnold in 4th. Larkin is, let's see if he's personal best in sector 1 and 2. I'm just seeing Tom R set a personal best in sector 1 and purple sector 1 actually, so he's looking quite good. We're seeing some good laps at the moment, so we'll see. Larkin will come across the line very, very shortly, but let's watch Tom R, the one who drivers have said has been the most impressive in terms of pace this season. Larkin with a 138.8. Can Tom R go any quicker? Can Tom R get pole position? He just snatched it on the line with seconds to spare, a 138.808. The race winner from last week snatches pole position today. Wow.
That was a very frantic finale, and congrats to all the guys that did have a look. 82 thousandths on the front row there. That's That's insane in those conditions. That looked very, very tricky up there. And yeah, I guess I should expect nothing less in this tier. They are the Pinnacle for a reason, but that is just awesome to see that they still found something in the final few moments.
I enjoyed that. I'm glad we had this. Let's go through the results because I'll be annoyed if I don't scroll. We've got Tomar, Larkin, Netsky, Calzo, Arna, Josh, Glock, Kyle, Toxic and Lakitu. Then we have Khalifa, Konzo, Noah, J-Luke, Vienna and Cliffy. Vienna and Cliffy did not set a lap time. We don't have any alternate strategy pole positions because everyone qualified on the Inter tyres. So 3 choice of tyres for every single one of the 16 drivers here today, which is good news. So Tomar had purple sector 1 and only purple sector 1 actually. Larkin had purple sector 3 and Netsky had purple sector 2. So the top 3 had purple in every sector. Now, I have been told to keep the screen like this so we can keep an eye on for any naughty engines, of course. Hopefully no one is naughty engine. My teammate read it up too early in Prospect. Tut. So he gets a 5-second penalty. Yeah, that's who it was because he screamed in the chat. But hopefully no one does that in Pinnacle, of course. Obviously, our tier coordinator is Khalifa. So Khalifa will have to be the one that readies up first. If everyone readies up before Khalifa, the first person that does that will get a 5-second time penalty that went on. So anyway, we shall potentially see what happens. And looks like everyone is all good for now. Just have to wait and see what goes on. I think we're going to get no ready up penalties, which is good news. And I'm going to check Taz as well to see if we have any Taz penalties. No Taz penalties either. This is good, isn't it? So yeah, everyone is going to... Yeah, no readying up penalties, no Taz penalties. So hopefully we can have a second week in a row where we have no penalties from Pinnacle. Come on, let's see if we can do this, guys. You done it last week. Let's see if you can do it this week.
Yeah, it was insane that last week no incidents were reported across any of the tiers, and the only things were a couple of infringements on Taz and readying up early. So that was great to see, but there could be some incidents tonight. There is some action zones that I will talk about now while I have the opportunity, because if I wait till the race I'll probably miss out on it. Anyway, you've got turn 1. Obviously it's going to be a tricky opening lap as it's a little bit narrow, and if everyone's slightly off at the start with full fuel, then there could be problems. You'll be bunched up going through 2 tight corners there. If you want to avoid contact, you are allowed to take the shortcut, but don't get any advantages in doing so. And stewards will be keeping an eagle eye on that. Turn 2, obviously, after turn 1. If you get turn 1 wrong, you're going to be compromised through 2, but they will be paying attention to track limits on the exit of 2. So I'll keep 2 wheels within the white lines, and anyone seen constantly extending will be penalised if necessary. And the next action zone is into turn 7. Traction is crucial in getting good run down the long back straight here. The rear of the car can slide if too much throttle is applied, so you have to be careful, especially when tyre wear kicks in, as I found out earlier in Prospect, and I wasn't the only one. So it's definitely trickier track than it looks. It looks flat. It is possibly quite flat, but it is still quite tricky with the degree of the corners, so you could lose overtaking opportunities in the race. And of course, turn 10 is a high-speed right-hander. It can be tricky if unbalanced or on heavy fuel, or worn tyres are the same as 7, but full commitment needed. And it is definitely, as we saw in qualifying, a different prospect altogether if rain does start to fall. So they are the action zones, and I would suggest keeping an eye out for the pit entry and the exit as well. They are notoriously difficult as well, especially if the pit exit comes onto the racing line into turn 1. So if you are going to make a pit stop, make sure you do not pull off into the path of a car on a who's going to have more momentum as they stayed out. So anyway, back to Jess for the start.
I'm looking at the tyres now. Only one person has gone for the softs, and that is Arnold. Everyone else who had 3 choice of tyres, which is everybody, went on the mediums. Am I shocked about this? No. Starting on the softs is not the best situation to be in, because the softs only last 9 laps, and we got the mediums that last 14 laps. So we could see a medium soft strategy, I think, for the drivers today. We will find out. we had to wait for about, let me have a look, it's almost an hour since we started the stream, and finally we could get underway with this race. Thank you so much for waiting very patiently. We've been waiting patiently as much as you guys. The 5 red lights are on for the penultimate race of the season, and we are underway. Tomar's got a good start, so has Larkin as well. Netsky alongside, right in the middle of this, as they all make their way towards turn 1. A little bit of dirty air in the background, which may not help some of the drivers. A few ghosting as well. Unfortunately, the timing tower of terror. And someone has spun. That is a Renault of Calzo. And we also have an AlphaTauri, and Josh also came together as well. A bit of a shame there, but it's Tomar that still leads the way as well. Arnold having a good start. He's maintained his full position in the top 4, pretty much unchanged from the start as well. I think Kyle stayed in 5th position as well, but he's got Toxic all the way behind him. No DRS activated, don't forget, until the 3rd lap, but Toxic is looking very, very good. Heading towards turn 8, Toxic's got really good straight line speed. Can you look for a look on the inside of Kyle? No, not quite. Heading there, Lakitu is in 9th position, not where he wants to be. Don't forget, if Netsky finishes in the top 5, no matter what happens, Netsky will be your driver's champion. So Lakitu will need to climb up the positions if he wants to stand any chance of getting the fight to Brazil next week. But no matter what happens, if Netsky stays where he is, he will be champion, as Khalifa tries to get on the inside of Lakitu heading into turn 12, but couldn't quite get it done. So yeah, quite a bit of a manic start for some of the drivers at the back, and I think it was Josh and J-Luke and Calzo that got caught up on it all.
Yeah, it was just a lot of real estate being fought for into turn 1, as I just said, but they weren't quite careful enough. There's a little bit of contact, and that started 3 or 4 drivers going backwards. But you have Arnold on the softs, who's looking to make a real impact early on in this race. Lines up a moving Esky, but thinks better of it into turn 1, which is probably the wise thing to do. Just hopefully you don't lose too much time, because otherwise your soft tyres won't give you that much advantage that you were looking for. It's a gamble from Arnold, and let's see if it will pay dividends for him tonight.
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers are still very, very close already. And when most people are on the medium tyres, I think it's more of a turn to a pace advantage, really, on the ones who are actually going to get good results today, rather than tyre advantage as well. I think Arnold is not doing the best on trying to get past Netsky, because Arnold has the tyre advantage right now due to the deltas that are happening as well. But probably Arnold is seeing things that we are not potentially. That's potentially why he's also gone for the soft tyres. But Carl is not actually trying to get past Arnold either. So Arnold doing well, holding in 4th position as well. Cliffy all the way up from last to 10th position. Not surprised that he's gained quite a few positions out there as well. And he's looking for a move past Vienna as well into turn 10. But he's not that close enough as it stands. So we'll look at the positions gained on your screen. So Arnold's gained 1, Carl's gained 3, Toxi's gained 3, Noah has gained 6, Khalifa's gained 3, Vienna's gained 6, Cliffy's gained 6, Konzo's gained 1, J-Luke's gained 1. The top 3 stayed where they are, and everyone else has dropped down positions quite considerably as well. Those were the biggest losers. But we're heading towards, I believe, lap 3, so DRS is enabled for real this time as well. And a few drivers were commenting in the pre-race interviews that Larkin is something to watch out for as well. They weren't expecting Larkin to be this good pace as well, but he's still in the top 4. He can technically get a trophy, even if he's not going to be with a good chance of actually winning the drive. He can still get a 2nd and 3rd place trophy. Obviously there's still 2 races to decide that, of course, but he's in for a good shot of actually taking a trophy, but he's got to get past Tomar first, who's looking quite feisty. Tomar trying to break some slipstream, heading towards turn 8 then. DRS enabled for Larkin. This should give him a little bit of advantage. Not quite close enough luck though on this lap. Meanwhile, Toxic gets past Carl up into P5. This is what Mercedes want for the constructors fight, because they can see Calzo in the distance down in 11th, which means more points for Mercedes, less points for the Renault team. And this could mean that the constructors could go down to the final race like we've seen with all the other tiers apart from position. Position's the only tier out of all 5 for the constructors to be decided tonight, I believe. I'm not sure about points, but we shall see, of course. But Mercedes looking good right now, P3 and P5 respectively.
Yes, they are, but that could change in a minute if Arnold can get a move on. But he's gone for a very early pit stop, and I think he wanted to get ahead to try and extend his life, but he's getting caught up behind Neski, so I thought better of it, and that is an early stop for Arnold, and the gamble at the moment hasn't paid off. But of course, if there is a safety car later, and we can't rule them out, but top 6 just flying right now in P4, right behind his teammate and championship leader, so it's got to be interesting to see who's going to be next in out of these lead cars, who's going to blink first.
Yeah, I think Arnold pitting when he did really does help, and to be honest, he could do a double medium stint, not a problem, because 14 plus 14 is more than 28 laps. If they had no restrictions with the tyre compounds, he could do medium, one stop. But A, he has to be on at least one different tyre compound in the race, and B, it's a 2-stop race, and if people don't do 2 stops, they will be disqualified. And if this is a race that people have forgotten before, we've seen quite a few people forget around this track in quite a few instances of the French Grand Prix. I think most of them were precision, so hopefully it does not happen here. I believe we commentated on the race in season 16, I think, when someone forgot. So hopefully we won't see the similar situation here, of course. Some of these drivers are here in this lobby today and are doing a great job. So Tom R is still holding on to the lead quite massively. The train is still growing. Vienna is the first person to pick up a penalty. I believe it's 3 seconds. No safety car or VSC to the names at the moment. They're all keeping steady right now. Obviously, we had Arnold who's still pitting. Let's see if anyone else is going into the pits. No one else is opting to pit. For some drivers, some people were thinking in the dry conditions to pit that one and then probably do a medium stint, which could get to the end. It is doable. So maybe Arnold is potentially hoping for early undercuts, but his medium stint is going to wear out quite a bit as everyone else goes on new mediums. But we'll see what happens, of course. Lark is still holding steady. Netsky is still holding steady. Netsky doesn't need to do anything right now. No matter where he is, he's still champion if the result stands as it is. So he can take it easy right now as long as his main rivals, mainly Nikita, I would say, is behind. Let's see what Netsky could do in front behind Larkin. He can't get past, neither could Larkin on Tom R. This is very insane between the top 4 right now. This is what I like to see all season. This is why I like commentating on it. This is great, but Netsky's going to look for a move it. Can he? Heading towards turn 9 and 10. Is he going to go for the lunge on the right-hand side? He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. A little bit of understeer. Nope, he's not going to go for it, but he's still right on the gearbox, so anything could happen. Larkin's made a mistake. Larkin's making a mistake. That may be Netsky's chance to come back, but Larkin with a switch back. Netsky's... Oh, this is so close. I'm almost losing my voice. This is a sensational racing, Matt. I'm liking this.
Yeah, it's been like this pretty much since the beginning of the last season as well. This tier is insane for on-track battles, but Larkin's not going to give up easy. And Netsky probably didn't go for it because he knows right now he's taking the Alan Prost approach, and right now he's good enough to win the championship, so he's not going to take any unnecessary risks. But I think if that was in the final couple of laps of the race, he may have tried to go for it just for the glory, but you never know. At the moment, he's content to sit third, and his teammate behind him is doing a very fantastic job. What Bottas could be doing in real life, but he's past it. He's a fraud. Anyhow, sorry, just had to get it out there. But Khalifa's all over the back of nowhere now, and that could be a little bit of a train falling behind him, as Carl is just behind him as well, and the 3 ERTs all in a row there.
Oh, Netsky! Sorry to interrupt. Netsky's gone for the move. Larkin's also gone for the move for the lead as well. At the same corner, so Larkin took advantage, so did Netsky. Tom R, I think, made a mistake, so Tom R has lost 2 places in 1 lap so far. So Larkin is your race leader, Netsky P2, Tom R P3. Toxic is all right in the back of this as well, which is insane. No, and Khalifa also behind. Vienna as well could be the piece of the puzzle, even though he's got a 3-second penalty. And the reason why Arnold has gone into the pits was he did have damage that one, so he may have been involved in the collision earlier on. So it did say in TAS that he got damaged. So yeah, that is why. And also Dexter pointed that out as well, because I believe he's helping his ERT teammate, of course. So thank you very much. Sorry that we didn't see that. I thought it was for strategical purposes, but it's not. He had to change his win. But it may not be over for Arnold. He could be on a good strategy, I think, even if he did pit. So that will be good as well. So on lap 7, of course, and I think I won't be surprised we'll see in the next few laps people box for then maybe another 7 meters, maybe medium soft medium. We obviously don't know what the best strategy is around here, because we never did a fully dry race. I think the only tier that's done it is obviously the one that's not streamed, and that's Precision.
Well, maybe we should put some feelers out there and see how they got on in the dry. But yeah, it's if I'm racing now and I'm out of it like I was earlier, I'd consider entertaining possibly doing a big hard stint like Lakitu seems to be doing now. He seems to be at the back, which isn't really good enough for him right now. He is not scoring any points, so that doesn't really matter what Nevsky does, but you'd prefer it to be the other way around from Lakitu's point of view. But he is on the hards, hoping to go quite deep into this race and maybe take advantage of any late safety cars. Right in for the soft tyres and fly at the end, see what you can do. But at the moment, Nevsky has more than enough advantage to seal it tonight.
Yeah, I think I'm almost certain that we're going to have to crown Nevsky tonight. I mean, I'm not going to talk about things too much. We still got like plenty of laps to go of this race. And here we go then, Cliffy versus Calzo, sorry. For P8, we also got Kyle in as well for that position as well. Kyle tries to attack from the left-hand side of the track, heading towards turn 14. Cliffy gets P8, but what about Calzo? Can he take the right-hand side, heading in towards turn 16? They make a little bit of contact. We got Kyle as well that goes side by side, went a little bit off the track as well. Here comes Konzo right behind as well, heading towards turn 1. Someone else has just gone into the pits. That is J-Luke. He's also in this fight as well. Actually, no, it's not. Someone else came out of the pits. I wasn't quite sure who it was. Or they may have just cut the pit lane exit for good measure. But we'll have to wait and see. I'll keep an eye on who else has pitted as well. But J-Luke has gone into the pits anyway for his first stop. Interestingly, he's gone for the strategy I thought of. Medium, soft, medium. So he probably wants to be fast in the middle stint. We'll see if that's paid off. He's gone for 2 different tyre compounds. So, probably a smart move from J-Luke. So if the safety car does come out, he can go on whatever tyre he wants to. Here comes Konzo then. To the left-hand side he goes. Heading towards turn 8. Can Carl defend to the right-hand side of the track? He can't make it sit, Konzo. He has to concede, unfortunately. Konzo stays 11th for now. Carl in P10. Cliffy could be on for some very good points for the team. Meanwhile, Tomar and Larkin, they could be side by side. Nevsky takes the race lead. I think one of them must have made a mistake somehow, but Nevsky got the job done when he needed to. Tomar gets second. Larkin again struggling for grip. It looks like they've been swapping positions for England. It's like, I don't know what you call it at the moment, and I don't know why Toxic is not taking advantage of that. He could get P2, but he's not at the moment. They're all so much even on pace. We can't call it at this moment in time. Toxic almost hit the back of Larkin there as well, but Nevsky's your race leader. Tomar in second, Larkin in a third. Toxic looking like he's going to go for a move potentially. No, not quite. Tomar maybe could go for a move, I think, in the next DRS straight, which is turn 7 and 8, so we'll keep an eye on that. Khalifa and Noah also in a battle as well behind, which could get it spicy. But here comes Toxic on the right hand side of Larkin. Very good stuff. Toxic's up to P3.
Yes, he is, and he's also looking to be the fastest man on track. He's purple through sectors 2 and 3, but Khalifa's still quickest overall through sector 1, so Toxic has some time to gain through there, but crucially for the Mercedes, they are, as it stands, outscoring Renault, and that could be something that takes over to the final corners of this race.
I think it will, because the gap, I'm just trying to see the gap going into, obviously, the constructors. 13 points is the gap between first and second before coming into France. So that could swing, I think, in Mercedes' favour going to the final race, because Renault were leading for quite a bit in the constructors' fight. So I think Calzo needs to go back up there if he wants Renault to still be leading going into the final race. But we've seen anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. As we got Mercedes 1-3 right now, but Larkin could spoil the party as well. We did see in the other tiers that had a dry start to the race, people stretching the mediums for quite some time. I think Podium was one of them, but I think Podium had a bit of a wet end to the race, or a wet start to the race. I'm not entirely sure, but a lot of people were able to go on the mediums for quite a bit as well. But we will see, of course, as we're on lap 10 now. We'll see who's closer on track. J-Luke had a bit of damage just before he pitted, so that's why he also pitted quite earlier as well. Josh has also pitted for the softs. I'm seeing if he picked up damage according to Taz. Nope, he did not. So it was strategic causes for Josh there. Is that what you would have done for Josh?
I mean, well, it doesn't help because he's got a 3-second penalty now, but it happens around this track. It's notoriously tricky to get every apex. I don't think I saw one all evening, but I'm happy with finishing the race, and I'm sure some of these drivers will be too, but I'm just doing all the mental arithmetic that I can right now, and I think, as it stands, Mercedes have a very, very slim lead going into the final round, but of course, there's still a lot of racing still to go, and we don't know how it's going to finish. But at the moment, it looks to be an almighty scrap between Netsky, Tom, Toxic, and Larkin. Yeah, I was just checking. Khalifa's not in this battle; he's in another one, and Larkin and the race leader are in for new tyres.
Mediums, I believe, as well. Will they go on soft, seeing what Josh has done? We'll have to wait and see. So let's follow Netsky. Netsky's on another set of mediums then. What about the likes of Cliffy, who also comes in as well? So a lot of drivers are deciding to put on their old set of mediums out and have fresh set of mediums in. I don't see anyone going onto the softs out of the ones who pitted. So, nope, Cliffy has changed my mind on that front. Cliffy has come in to the pit with some softs. So, bit of a gamble strategy, but Josh, he's seen Josh do it. So we thought, why not him? I wonder if all the RT boys are in the same party together. I won't be surprised if they are going for so much similar strategy. But look at that train. Oh, this is insane between, I would say, I'm just having a look, from P10 all the way down to P15 with different tyre strategies. This could go either way as well. Don't forget, there is the fastest lap point for people outside the top 10 people to contend with as well. We still got the top 7 still yet to make their first stop. We'll see what Josh could do though as he tries to get past Arnold for P11. He can't quite do it. Maybe Cliffy could try and do the same. He's got Glock right on and the gearbox as well. Glock doesn't like the dries as much as the wet, but he's still having a nice battle either way. Don't forget, Glock will still have to make another pit stop as Josh gets past Arnold into turn 10 of all things. Brilliant stuff.
That is so brave. But at the start of this lap, when Arnold was coming around again, there was very nearly an incident at turn 1 for the simple reason of being on the racing line and much slower than the guy behind, but both gave them just about enough room and Arnold was able to save it, but it could have ended up very, very badly for him. But at the moment, we have Cliffy just sniffing around for the extra point. He's on the quickest tyre right now, so maybe he's just trying to get a good stint in now to give him a better position later, as he just breezes past Arnold, his teammate, who will no doubt know that he's on a different strategy and possibly just let him go. And let's see what Cliffy can do on this stint, because this could be crucial for him getting big points later on.
And don't forget, hardly any drivers use the soft compounds at the start of the race, so they will have fresh softs to use as well, extra softs as well, because it was a wet qualifying session. So that means more soft to use for the end of the race if they wanted to. So maybe that's what Arnold is thinking about, that he's going to be faster at the end of the race. That could potentially be good. Meanwhile, the two Red Bulls are going side by side as well, but they may not know that they got a Haas driver right in front of them. Yellow flag in sector 2. That is J-Luke, I believe, because he's the only sole one who's not in a DRS train right now. Meanwhile, Netsky, he's got past Larkin right now. I'm into 5th place as well. They pitted the same lap, but Netsky's got the job done. There's a nice scrub these two have been having all race. It's going to be hard to decide the drivers of the day. Tom R has not pitted, neither has Toxic, neither has Calzo, but Calzo comes in. I'm surprised on Renault's strategy to pit Calzo. I thought they would have pitted Tom R for the undercut. I hope they haven't forgot the two-stop strategy. I would be absolutely annoyed if we had to disqualify a driver. I just hope that they remember at some point. But Calzo comes out, he's on the soft tyres.
I'm sure they've talked about it if they are in a party together, and the lead car would have the option, and if he didn't pit, then the second car behind would then have the opportunity to do so. I don't think Tomar will have forgotten the two-stop rule, because he did go deeper in an earlier race season, which got him a good podium, so I'm pretty sure he will pit in the next couple of laps, if not this lap. and it's just an advantageous stop from his teammate Calzo there to get in, while the Tomar lead car did not want to. So that could be a big call, as Conzo now has a 3-second penalty, and it's all going off tonight.
Yeah, and it's all going off pretty much. A lot of drama has happened tonight as well. I think we were very lucky with Prospect. There hardly any lobby dramas or stream dramas at all, really, to be honest. Anyway, as Tomar comes in a bit later than planned, Toxic comes in as well. Let's watch Netsky. I'm almost certain that Netsky's going to come out ahead. We will find out about Larkin as well. It's going to be very close. Tomar's also gone for the softs. What about Toxic? He's gone for the softs as well. I am shocked. I wonder if they're going to... I wonder if they stayed on means for a bit longer so they can do a double soft stint. I was debating on doing this in Prospect if it was a fully dry session, but that wouldn't have worked. But it's so close. Netsky holds on to the race lead. Larkin in second, but don't forget Tomar, Khalifa and Toxic all on soft tyres and are looking to hunt for the chase there. This could get very, very spicy. Nobody has done the 2 stops yet, but Arnold and Lakita will be pitting one more time just now. Kyle still yet to do any stops right now in the AlphaTauri. I almost said Toro Rosso. Shouldn't have done that, but there we go. He's got to pit surely, but Arnold and Lakita, they don't have to pit again. So if there's a safety car, they could be back in this race because they won't have to stop again. But Carl's knowing that he's got a 5-6 car train chasing him. Probably longer than that because the train is growing right now. Vienna gets past Glot for P12. That's why I like a wet qualifying and dry race, because we don't know what the strategy is going to be. Here comes Tomar and Larkin on those fresher softs. Tomar is gaining. He knows the delta is much, much better compared to the mediums, and he's proving that today. He still wants to get P2 and 3 in the constructor so he can get his hands on the trophy, and he's definitely helping with that move that he's done now. Tomar is up into 3rd place. Larkin stays in 4th. Toxic also tries to go for a similar move on Larkin then, and he does it with ease. Toxic up into 4th place, but for how much longer? Look at this train. Anything could happen. Tomar could get Netsky on the softs then, and he does. Tomar is your net race leader.
What a move that is! But there's quite a lot of battles like that could come down to win or lose. It's amazing to see, but Lakitu's having an absolute nightmare today. It's quite the reverse of last season, in fact. He used to have the upper hand in races. Netsky used to out-qualify him, but he used to be able to come through the field. This season, it's like, well, Netsky's just found another level to go from qualifying to the race, and he's having another go, and he's back past Tom into the chicane. And I don't think Tom's finished yet. This is amazing stuff, and Toxic is right behind him too. Let's just see if anyone else is going to be brave to overtake into turn 10. You have Toxic now into 3rd place, and this is changing the constructors order. I don't know what Toxic's overtaking his teammate. I'm not sure. I mean, he's on the soft tyres, and that's going to give Tomar the window as well. And this is absolutely fascinating, and I have no idea what's going to happen. But Netsky's just been bumped a little bit off track there, but I don't think he's got damage. Taz hasn't picked anything up yet, but this is awesome.
Race of the season by far. This is amazing. I thought Austria was that crazy with the full wet race and then wet to dry race, but this is even crazier. This is insane. As Kyle was in the pits, and I'm just going to point out Kyle's tyres. 88% front left, 80% front right, and he was going on for so long. I'm surprised he got on for this long. He's probably hoping for a late safety car, which probably isn't going to happen. He's going to need a miracle for that to happen. Toxic is your race leader. Toxic's got past Tomar for P2. No. Netsky. Tomar's got past Netsky for P2. Oh, sorry. There's so much that's happened this race. It's hard to commentate on the actual. Khalifa could be getting one of his best results of the season as well if he keeps it up. He's still winning this train as well. No one in the top 6 has got penalties. Calzo is back in this fight as well on the softs. Hardly anyone has done the 2-stop yet. You know, there's just so many strategies that could throw at this as well. I think Netsky's having a bit of fun because obviously he knows that Lakitu will be out of this championship fight. He knows that if he's P5 or higher, Netsky will win the championship. He's just having a bit of fun, isn't he? Having some battles, he just doesn't care where he is as long as he's 5th or higher, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems like he's coming to this race very, very relaxed, and all the pressure's on everybody else, and he's just keeping it calm, taking breaths when he needs to, and realising the bigger picture, which is quite the Alan Prost thing to do. He's just doing what he needs to do to get across, and there's a yellow flag. Glock is out of this race. Is that going to be a safety car? We'll find out shortly.
Glock's retired on track. Glock's retired on track. That is a naughty engine, I have to say. Do we have a safety car? I don't think so, because he's off the circuit. So Vienna goes into the pit lane for his final stop. And he's gone to another set of the medium tyres. I think very safe call from Vienna. He knows that the medium tyres are manageable and can definitely get to the end of the race. So he won't have to suffer from punchy territory. But we're going to watch out to see if any of the other drivers will be thinking a similar situation, or will they be doing a double soft stint. We will have to find out. We've got 11 laps to go of this race. But even with the drama that's happened tonight at OneHub around France, this is the long wait has been definitely worth it. Thank you to those of you that have still been tuned in at almost 5 minutes past 10 in the UK. And in Europe, I can't imagine how late it will be for you. So thank you for those of you that are still watching from Europe as well. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have liked the stream so far, click the thumbs up button, turn notifications on, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are on 600 subscribers now, which we do appreciate. Thank you very much. And it will get us in good stead going into the final round in Brazil. You can also check out all of our social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Discord and Twitch as well, where we stream some of our races every week. This week was in the podiums here, and we got a giveaway for the Next Level Racing GT Light Stand if you follow us on all our social medias. It closes next Friday, by the way. No, next Sunday at around about 5ish. So if you want to get yourself a Next Level Racing stand, make sure you follow us on all of our social media accounts by then, because we will do a draw in the special stream I'll be doing on the final week of OneHubRacing. So make sure you follow us on that. Meanwhile, there's still some battles going on. We got a yellow flag. That is Kyle. That's Kyle that spun. I thought it was J-Loop, but it was Kyle. But let's jump back into the DRS train. We've got Josh that's got past Kyle there, so not ideal. And Kyle has got a free 10-second time penalty for that. I wonder if it will get removed, but only time will tell, of course. Larkin's looking very good on Netsky at the moment. This is the Larkin that we've known and loved as well. Larkin, I can't remember if he's actually won race before in OneHub. I will check the database, because we do have a database which we are potentially planning to share to the wider OneHub community potentially for next season. All be revealed very, very soon as well. But Larkin showing that he's consistent, and that would probably help him getting some good points. So let me have a look actually. Where is he? I can't find him in the database at the moment. So let me have a look. He's got one win. He's got one win, which I believe was last season. So yeah, it is not a stranger to OneHub for him getting the win. But we'll see as Cliffy trying to get past Kyle into the final corner of turn 16. Even though they're fighting for P10, they're still definitely giving us a battle to watch, of course. I believe those two drivers will need to stop again. No, they don't. These two drivers will not need to stop again. They're not leaving so much space, but huge respect to both of them. They are ERT drivers, of course. Cliffy gets past, but meanwhile, Calzo gets Khalifa up to P5, but can Khalifa get on here into turn 10 very soon, past into turn 8? I'm almost starting to lose my voice in. There's so many races so far, but Nikita could be in danger of not scoring any points, which is not ideal for the championship punter. But I'm almost certain that we are going to crown Netsky tonight, but we still got some battles to come up with in the meantime, and we're heading towards lap 20 very, very soon. Toxic still on the back of Tom R. Netsky Netsky's not really pushing. I can tell he's not pushing because he's 3 seconds down on Tomar. So I think he just wants to have a bit of fun once again. But he may not know that he's got Larkin right on his tail. So he's got to get a move on.
No, he'll know that. But talking of Netsky, I've just been looking at his overall stats. He's never finished outside the points. So that is... The driver you're seeing there is very confident that he's going to win this championship this season and probably tonight, unless something catastrophically unfathomable happens in the final 7 or 8 laps. You're going to have a champion tonight, and Lakitu just won't follow into the shoes of Louis and get 2 in a row. But to get 1 and be in contention the second season is a pretty good season. But at the moment, Netsky is cantering towards the championship.
Which I have to say, he's very well deserving, and he's giving us a good battles at that as well. Vanetsky, I think he would have preferred a championship to be on the top step of the podium, but at least he's giving us a fight to watch. As Noah gets past Josh for P8 as well. 3 ERT drivers close together on track, which is great to see as well. As you got Cliffy and Arnold fighting as well for position as well, and yeah, it's just nice to see a different variety as well. All the Pinnacle tier drivers are just so close out, the ones that are still here as well. And obviously, the ones who did choose the Pinnacle tier, they definitely did the right thing. As Toxic goes into the pits and he's got a speeding penalty. That's exactly what I did in Frostbit earlier. It costed me so much time, and Toxic will have to deal with the same thing, but he can't make another pit stop like I did, so it'll be added to the end of his race time, Matt. That is awful for the team that are chasing for a constructors title.
Yeah, it could well change a lot of things when you get penalties like that. It's definitely going to give Renault a little bit of... I mean, look how it's changed now. That penalty could drop Toxic from a podium position to possibly P6 if it goes on like this. If they continue to race wheel to wheel like that, it is going to be an insane finish to this race, and that I'll get back to you on the maths how that would do it, because it could change again back to the hands of Renault, and that small penalty, that small lapse of concentration could cost Mercedes at least 1 championship.
Don't forget, Netsky and Calzo will need to stop one more time, of course, and the pit stop loss around this circuit, if I could just have a look at the track map once again, 22.5 seconds. So it's going to be tough, if I would say, for the likes of Netsky and Calzo, but Tomar could be on course for a race victory as well. And the speeding in the pit lane penalties, those are the only 5-second penalties that get added to the end of the race that can't be removed. They won't be looked at. So yes, that's just dangerous for Tomar. Good for if you're a certain Red Bull fan or McLaren fan or Renault fan in the chat, or an ERT fan as well if you're the likes of Khalifa, because Khalifa could be on course for another podium this season. His first podium, I believe, was in Canada. He wasn't expecting to get one. He could be on course for another one. We shall see. Netsky and Galzo go into the pits. We'll see where they end up. Those two are quite close in the pit stop battle. Toxic comes across the line. Tomar in second. Where's Khalifa? It's going to be so close. Khalifa gets P3. Larky gets P4. That overcut for Netsky and Calzo has costed them hugely. This could be huge for Mercedes and really good for Renault.
Yeah, there's ramifications that we still don't quite fully understand at the moment. It's going to change again towards the end of the race, but Khalifa in a podium position, this is what happens when he stops chasing the undercut. Look what he can do when he's on the right strategy at the right time. It's fantastic, as Lakitu there, just... His days is getting worse.
We got Larkin, just got past Khalifa up into turn 8 then. So Larkin saying, no, Khalifa, you're not having that podium. That podium is mine. But I think Khalifa is definitely going to be on an uphill charge as well. Larkin, though, has the advantage. He has the fresher tyres as well to contend with. So he's going to look very good towards the end of the race. And he's got purple in sector 2. So he's looking very, very quick. And he's on course to be getting a fastest lap point as well. So everybody is on different strategies at this moment in time. So very, very intense for all the drivers. And I believe, I'm just looking at the maths for gap to leader, Tomar will be leading this race. With Toxic, he will just about get P2, and then Larky will need to gain 6 tenths on Toxic, and then Larkin will get P2 over Toxic. So it'll be Tomar, Larkin, Toxic and Larkin at the moment with Khalifa in P4. Netsky's also potentially going to be challenging Khalifa for P4 as well. So it's going to be also tight for the penultimate round of the season. Constructors fight, I'm almost certain, will go down to the final race in Brazil, which means more mass. More mass for Cam, because Cam will have to do constructors permutations. But there we go. So good luck, Cam, if you're watching this. Noah's got a 3-second time penalty. We're starting to see more people getting time penalties, Matt. Is it just due to the pressure that these drivers are facing?
I think it is. They're trying to, I think, snatch a little bit more of the track just to try and get a little bit more advantage. And unfortunately for some of these drivers, J-Lou's got another one there. As you see, it's getting to the stage where it's easily feasible to get 2 or 3 penalties in just trying to catch up to the guy in front of you. I know I've done it at times this season. You were in such a groove and then all of a sudden you make one mistake and then they start to multiply. So with the high pressure stages that we have in the closing stages of this race, Nesky's in P5 by the way, which you know, it's not a bad day, and like I said, I think he's just doing what he needs to do, just continue to finish. If he finishes in the top 5, regardless of what everyone else does, he will be the champion, and he's in P5 at the moment. But Toxic, he was quickest for a while, and Lakitu's got another penalty. His day's just disastrous, really. And Toxic is the quickest man on track, and then Calzo will go and beat him. And it's pretty much stuff like that which gets you unwarranted 3-second penalties as you're trying to chase fastest lap, perhaps try and gain some time on the drivers around you. And I still have no idea who's going to win this race. At the moment it looks like Tomar, as you say, but can Larkin steal a podium? I mean, not a podium, but can he steal P2? Can Khalifa stick with him? Perhaps he's got a chance as well. It's not over yet. There's still 4 or 5 cars that could win this race, and Netsky is one of them. He's right behind Khalifa. Can he go for a move into the chicane? I don't know. He's going to try a late one. He's going to go for the brakes, and he's made that stick. Oh my word. What a move that is. That could be a championship sealer.
Well, I think he's already going to get the title, but that was a champion's move and a hard. That is why we could potentially see Netsky in the top step of the championship. With that move alone, that was insane. That was very insane. He's one of the quickest drivers in this tier, and he's definitely showing it. He still could be on course for a race win, folks. Do not count him out. A, he's on fresher soft tyres. B, he's just quick as anything. So, he could be on course for a podium here. Let's see what he could do on Larkin then. I think Larkin must be very wide. Oh no, that's the race win and podium gone for Toxic. He's got a 3-second time penalty. So now that adds up to 8 seconds worth of penalties. There's a few people in the chat that are rooting for their favourite drivers. Let us know who you're rooting for. Sonny, who is a position tier driver, is rooting for Tomar in the chat. Tomar's doing very well. The way this is going, Tomar could be on for his 2nd race victory in a row if he could keep himself penalty free. I'll see on Taz what penalties warnings he's got. He's only got 1 warning, just like last week, so he's doing very well in terms of the track limit front, which is great to see. Here comes Netsky. He's on the charge again. He's going to go for a similar move to what we saw with Khalifa, but this time before he even heads to the chicane. Excellent stuff from our championship leader, and I have to say, this has been one of the best races I've ever seen from Netsky. We thought he would be out of this, but the strategy calls he has made to go onto the soft tyres is definitely showing. And he still could be on course to be getting that race victory. He's 1.1 second behind Tomar. Let's ignore Toxic. He's got too many penalties to get the race victory. It is Tomar versus Netsky for the race win.
It is, and Toxic's not even going to get on the podium. He could even, I think at the moment, he's going to finish behind Khalifa in 5th. So that's a disastrous penalty for him. And yeah, this is all about Tomar, race to victory, Netsky for the podium, Larkin and Khalifa are battling as well. So this race is really heating up at the right times, and it's been an amazing race, and I think well worth the wait as well, despite the problems we've had tonight. This has made everyone forget about them, and this has been truly gripping, and I'm glad I could be here to see it.
And thank you to, I think, almost 20 of you watching the stream at 10 o'clock at night. So what are you doing? What are you doing? You're not watching the Euros or something? And Lakitu's day has gone from bad to worse. 5-second penalty in the pit lane. We got Jacko himself cheering for Khalifa in the chat. Not really that surprised there as well. But he's still could be on course, be getting a podium, potentially maybe P4 as well. He's been driving super well today. So is Larkin. So it's going to be really, I would say, tough to call, but it looks like Larkin has the advantage. Meanwhile, Tomar could be going for the move for the race victory here, but Netsky has saying, nope, you're not having that race victory. It's going to me. What a great move from Netsky into turn 8, but can Tomar fight back then, heading towards turn 10? Who said you can't overtake in turn 10? Tomar's going to try, not much space at all as they head towards turn 11, a very understeery part of the circuit. My oh my, if this is the way you want to win a championship, this is definitely amazing for Netsky. It's like a Lewis Hamilton moment from Austin when he won one of his titles there. We could see a Lewis Hamilton repeating this here at this moment in time, but it's not over. Tomar can still get that race win. A bit of a lock-up from Tomar. Bit late on the brakes there. This could be late braking from the Renault driver. Final lap. Larkin can still be on for this race victory. Khalifa too. This is all up in the air. One person could make a mistake and it could change everything. We're looking at tyres. Toxic tyres on 52%. So is Tomar's. Netsky is doing perfectly with his tyres. So is Larkin. Khalifa's on 62%, so we'll watch out for him as well. Meanwhile, Konzo's got the move on Vienna up into 11th place. So they'll be on for some good points there. Even though it's 2-1 points, it could make all the difference. But just look at the straight line speed that Netsky is carrying right now. That's just amazing. I am speechless with the way Netsky is performing right now. If he doesn't get driver of the day, I don't know. I don't know who will be getting driver of the day. So Calzo gets the move into Khalifa. So Khalifa is in down to P6 and Calzo's up into P5. But Netsky has driven amazing today. But look at this. Tomar could go for the move towards turn 11. Netsky closed the door ever so nicely as well. But Tomar is not going to give up without a fight. Still a few more corners to go of this French Grand Prix, heading towards turn 12. The end is in sight. The trophy is in sight for Netsky, but Tomar couldn't do anything to get the win. Netsky, Toxic comes across the line and P1 on track, but it is Netsky who takes the win and also the win the championship. He is your season 18 Pinnacle Tier Drivers Champion.
Yep, what a drive that is to seal it. And yes, he was doing the minimum he needed to, and then at the end he saw the chance to win the trophy for himself, win the race, and he's done that. And Toxic, as you see with those penalties, has fallen to P6, which means the constructors is going to be a bit of a mess now. It's 28 points to Mercedes there, and Renault were second and fourth. Second and fourth, so that's 29, so that's actually not gone well for Mercedes. They lost a point to Renault after that late penalty, so there you go. That's a 1 point swing for Renault, and that's going on to next week, although it's close.
Just like most tiers tonight, so very, very good. So we're just waiting for, I think, J-Lu to come across the line, and he could be on for his a point for fastest lap. So who's got fastest lap in outside the top 10? It's Lakitu, but is Jamie going to spoil the party there? Outside the top 10 at the moment belongs to Netsky. No, it's Calzo at the moment. It's not going to be J-Luke after that thing at the moment, but it could be Kyle. We'll see. Or it could go to Lakitu. We'll see. Nope, Lakitu gets the fastest lap of the race outside the top 10, and Calzo gets it inside the top 10. But your man of the night is your season 18 Pinnacle Tier champion. It is Netsky. No one can top him all season. Netsky, well, he just missed out from Lakitu last season. He had to fight back. He had the momentum. He was even more hungrier for this season, and he has shown why he's the best of the best. He's looking to do what Janel and Louis has done, become a double world champion in the same tier. So we'll see if Netsky could do it next season. But You know, he was one of the fastest in qualifying night, and out of all the tiers, and he's definitely one of the fastest in OneHubRacing. So, what a season so far, and what a race. We'll go through your results. Netski wins by 6/10 of a second to Tomar. Larkin in third, Calzo fourth. What a comeback drive for him. Khalifa in fifth, and we got Toxic, Noah, Josh, Arnard gets some good points there in ninth. Cliffy in 10th after starting last. And we got Konzo. Vienna gets your final point. Lakita gets the final point as he gets the fastest outside the top 10. And then we got Jamie and Carl, your final finishes. And your only retirement is Glock. Quite a few races actually only have one retirement in. So it just goes to show it's hard to retire around this circuit, as most people have found out. But it's going to be a tough call tonight. We have to pick our drivers of the day. I know where one of them might go to, but where is yours going to go to, Matt? Who is your driver of the day, and what is your question?
I mean, I think it's fairly obvious where I'm going to go. I think many contenders, but I'd be remiss if I didn't get it straight out there. I've got to give it to Netski. He showed the steel of a champion. He had a champion's driver. The question I'd like to ask him was, at what point did you realise that things were going to go your way today? And were you just in the zone at the end, or was that always the plan to go for it like that?
Yeah, and I have to say, I got to agree with that choice there. And I'm surprised you went for the winner. You don't usually go for the winner, Matt, but to be honest, it was well deserving. And my second driver of the day is going to be very tough. I think it's between two people. One who's had a great fight through the field to come into third, and one with a great comeback. So I don't know who to pick. I'm gonna have to go with. Oh, this is very, very tough. I never come with a very tight decision, but I'm gonna have to go with Calzo, because we thought that he was gonna be out of it after a few laps in. He's had troubles at the start, but to be honest, he's proven something to everyone that you just do not give up, and because of him, he's got Renault still leading the Constructors' Championship. So my question to him is, what a comeback drive from you. How do you rate Renault's chances on winning the Constructors' Championship next week? Great performance. And that is your two drivers of the day, and you will get to vote for them when the polls open tomorrow or tonight, depending on when one of the management gets it up. But one of the races of the season, apart from Austria, of course. Austria was really good, but between those two, which race tops it? Austria or France?
Well, they both had all the drama that you look for in a race, but I think possibly Austria, because of the nature of the race, was wet to dry at the end, whereas this one was dry all the way through, although quali was wet too. But my vote would be Austria, but only just. Yeah,
I don't know. I think I'm torn between Austria and France at the moment, but yeah, the wait was definitely worth it, and thank you everybody for sticking with us throughout the entire thing. And it's almost the 2 hour mark. We did say we could get into the 2 hour mark. We're actually on the 2 hour mark, I believe, according to my OBS. Yes, 2 hours, 2 minutes and 15 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. So yes, apologies for the technical difficulties, but we will do everything we can to make sure anything does not happen again. The ones that did invite the randomer will be punished severely, and I don't think they will be invited to OneHub again after tonight. So yes, won't be good for them, but it'll be everyone's game, as we were treated to a very good race. Next week, we head to the final race of the season. We know the Drivers' Championship has been decided, but we still got second and third place to decide, as well as the Constructors' Championship as well. And because of Lakita's mistake, let's go through your results. Netski is on 128 points. Lakita's dropped down to 4th. Tomar is now in 2nd. Larkin's in 3rd. Lakita 4th. Vienna in 5th. This is going to be a nail-biting finish, I have to say. But thank you, Matt, for joining us once again. It's going to be a nail-biting fight for the Constructors and the runner-up spots in the Drivers' Championship, I have to say, next week.
Yeah, it's coming down to the wire, just like I thought it would. I didn't expect to crown a Drivers' Champion before the end, but it's credit to the new champion for that. It was such a great drive today, and he's been consistent for the last 2 seasons. As I mentioned, he hasn't finished outside the points in OneHub, so it was probably always going to happen this way, but it's great to see the passion is still there for all the drivers, and he's still trying to make overtakes to win championships at the end of a race like that. That is what we come to see, and I'm looking forward to seeing out the season next week at one of the better finale tracks that we could have chose in the league. So yes. I'm very, very excited already for Brazil.
It's going to be a bittersweet moment, actually, because it's almost a full season I've commentated in OneHub in a while, actually, and it's been probably one of my favourite ones. We'll talk about next week. Brazil was just such a great track for battles, and it always produced some great battles in OneHub history. Remember in Pinnacle a few seasons ago, I think it was season 15 actually, championship finale, it was intense as well. I think Kieran and Jamie were commentating on that, and they were in for an absolute treat. Let's hope we're in an absolute treat next week. We'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening, because I know some of you guys are tired, and I'm knackered as well, so I'm going to have a lie down and recover after that fantastic race. I've been JessGames95, Matt has been Indecisive Mackie. We will see you next week, same time. Hopefully no more lobby issues for the Pinnacle tier, but we can't make any promises. We'll see you next week, 8:30 for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Have a good evening, everybody, and goodbye.